Okay, so probably for the first time this weekend, the die roll will have an incredible importance here. Just because Kian has so many traps, he's playing 3 copies of Torrential Tribute and Solemn Judgment in the main deck, so...
Yeah, we talked about the Dragon League deck also in our deck discussion earlier on, and I think although Guard Dragon LP was forbidden and the Striker Dragon was limited, the deck is still here, so I'm really looking forward to this match.
Absolutely, and I always enjoy, you know, the way that these players, just like we saw in the last match with Pierluigi, with the Zodiac Engine, they try a way to play around the restrictions from the list. So let's see who will be the guy to open up. I think it's Kian actually. So that's a great news for him, but he doesn't have a normal summonable Altergeist, so he will just set free and pass to his opponent. So this could be a struggle. If he doesn't have access to Faker, then I don't know if he has enough to just fight back the resource war.
Yeah, especially because from Danique's point of view, maybe in this meta you are not used to seeing so many players playing hand traps. And maybe he's not expecting Kia to play Altergeist, because as we saw previously in our match, especially Tribigate plays some traps such as Solemn Strikes, Impermanence, and maybe we'll be surprised when we'll see Kian playing Altergeist.
Yeah, absolutely. Debating a little bit, there are plenty of things like the drawback, of course, is not having LP and the additional copies, but the upside is that you gain free extra deck space. Yeah. Which is a lot for a deck like Dragon Link, and it gave Danique the idea of having actually cards like Odd Thread Dragon Archifiend Abyss and the Dragunity package, which were things just to do extra deck space you couldn't really fit before. So
yeah, it really depends about how many interruptions Kian has. Because as you mentioned earlier, if he has the multi-faker, that could hurt a lot. And okay, now
we finally see the start
with Seaford, and let's see if Kian has a response to this.
Yeah, the Star League is a great start, and already we see the spoofing. Okay. Hopefully there is no Ash Blossom from Danique, because this could hurt a lot. The question is he using the effect? Or is he just activating and he already has a Faker in hand? That could also be the case. But we see a response from Danique.
Does he have Twin Twister?
But do you really use it here? Oh. Wow, he uses the Twin Twister, but this is interesting because spoofing actually shuffles back its cost.
Yeah.
So this means that Kian didn't use the effect of spoofing. This is actually, yeah, an unusual way, but if Solemn Judgment is not there, Danique drawing, although he plays 50 cards, one of the 2 copies of Twister remained, and you can see Kian really being frustrated with this. He's forced to actually use what seems to be a protocol.
Yeah.
And he will shuffle it back with the spoofing, I believe. At least trying to get something useful out of this situation. And yeah, as mentioned, he will use the spoofing to shuffle back the protocol.
Okay, he's getting rid of the other back row, which was the strike.
Which was the strike, and unfortunately, the judges told him that since he flipped the spoofing, but he didn't use the effect, he couldn't shuffle back the protocol anymore. And now the Faker comes down, but this is tough. He doesn't have any more back rows, and the only line of defense is gonna be the Silk. So great way to start this match from Danique.
Yeah, the Twin Twister was what he really was hoping for, because otherwise there might have been problems for him. And now he bounces back the Zephyr. So let's see if he does have, for example, a Ravine. Okay.
Wow, he has the quick launch, so great way to continue. Kian is playing Ashe in the main deck, but I'm not sure if he has it yet at the moment.
Yeah, doesn't seem like Kian has a sort of interruption.
Yeah, he gets another Tracer. And yeah, you gotta feel bad on one side for Kian. Ooh, wow, and the Nocto. So tough start here from Danique, who is lucky enough to see one of the only Shu copies of Twister, but now is where things get interesting. Before with the LP, this combo was more linear. Now I'm really curious to see what his combo is, and he gets the copy of Dragon Reveal. This is crucial because he's playing a big Dragunity engine. So definitely looking forward to see what his combos are going to be.
Yeah, especially because in our last remote duel invitational, we've seen a lot of players relying on Dragon Link, playing with LP and multiple copies of Striker Dragon, and here things slightly changed a bit.
Yeah, he's, as mentioned, since he has the extra deck space, he decided to run a huge Dragunity package with not only the Romulus in extra, but the guy there, which is a synchro we have not seen in a long time. But it's great because it allows you to search for one of the Collapse Serpent Dragons for free.
Let's see what he now sends with the Dragon Ravine, and he has access to his extra deck now, so very curious to see what it will be next.
Yeah, he has also the option to add, which other version of Dragon Link didn't have before, as he plays both the engines in the deck. He has the Remus and the Legatus, so he can add one of those two Dragonity monsters to his hand. But
maybe they're just making some clarification here.
okay. So now he must resolve either sending or adding to the end from Ravine.
Yeah, now I think he knows that his opponent maybe doesn't have any other sort of interruption, so...
Yeah,
yeah, he can do basically a lot here because he has the Octo as well, the Tracer, he can bring back...
yeah, it's just a new way of playing the
Yeah.
deck, that's the thing. Which is also something that really pays off the testing, because when you have a card like Kelpie, which is just the easy solution you go to every game, it gets complicated when you have to just change the strategy to completely.
And here he got the Legatus, a card we haven't seen so often lately. And now, yeah, it comes the
the sector launch. Yeah, for now it's nothing new, but the difference must come at any time, and now you will just use it to get back the Tracer by tributing it, and potentially uses the Remus he searched with the Ravine. So this is an interesting touch card, the Legatus. I will try to bring it up for you guys on screen, but it's essentially can be special summon where you control the Ravine. It has a second effect, which is if you control one Dragunity equipped, you can even destroy a spell or trap, but it's just a nice extender to use. Now he summons the Romulus, I think. So... although LP is gone, PST is still there, so you can use it quite significantly to summon, for example, Boros War Dragon, which is in the extra deck. He has a lot of solutions, so...
And I really like how this deck is still here.
Here he gets a second copy with the Romulus of the Dragon Raven, which you can really see is the key card of this version. With the Remus, you can just discard it and get it. So it's one of those old monsters you can just use to add your field spell from the deck. And now with the other field spell, the Boots Extra Launch, he gets to special summon not only the Tracer, but the additional monster from his hand, which now allows him to push almost for game, depending how he feels like using it. But I think he will lock himself under dark, so that's quite unlikely now.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, because he seems pretty much in control of this game, because it doesn't seem like Kian has the Ash Blossom you mentioned before.
Yeah, but now he's locked under darks, so this is an important thing to remember. Although it's safe to say that Alter guys are great at going first, but not really at breaking boards and coming back. And here we see one of the many cards in his extra deck, which is the Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. So
yeah, previously in the meta game, this was one of a card that could really help you out to search for Dragon Mate cards once you mill. Okay, it was pretty decent with the Tiding and the Legionnaire. Okay, this is very good. This is very good for Danique. Yeah, this is pretty much a different way to combo off.
Absolutely, and here you see again one of the cards which actually, funny enough, was used back when we had all of the Guard Dragons. When you could special summon one from the extra deck, the Abyss, we see here is one of the cards you would usually go for. But now we actually see it summoned properly, which is definitely unusual.
And I think now Kian realizes that, it has seen enough.
Yeah, Kian has seen enough, so well played by Danique, who actually manages to come back from a field of free sets and spoofing. I gotta say, most of the credit goes to the Twin Twister, which was drawn, but which was also mained by Danique. So good decision from him. Twister is definitely not one of those cards you would expect a lot of decks to main in the format right now. But in the end, it was what gave in game one, and this makes it quite tougher for Kian after siding.
Yeah, it paid off, and especially because now looking at the side deck, I think, as you mentioned before, it's very important for Alter guys to go first. And looking at his side deck, he does have cards such as Dimension Shifter, or he has Imperial Order as well. Anti-spell if he really wants to side in these cards against Dragon Ravine, of course.
I gotta say, it's not a surprise that his side deck looks better for when he goes second than when he goes first, because usually you think you win already when he goes first. So I don't know, this could be actually tough for Kian, especially if we look at Danique's side deck.
Yeah, because I think he was prepared for this kind of matchups, considering that he's side decking the other copy of Twin Twister, the Red Rebooth as well, Arpy's Feather Duster, so he has a lot of cards against this kind of deck. And I think we will for sure see these cards from Danique's side.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite a Trinity yet, but until we get the Heavy Storm, but Red Reboot and RP Feather Duster are considered the duo of the best cards you can side against the rogue decks. And not only does he play that, he has 3 copies of Twin Twister and Pancrotop, so things are looking much better for Danique, considering he won what is probably a very unfavorable matchup, losing the title in game 1. But let's see just what Kian is able to do.
Yeah, because it's very hard to lose game 1 for Alter guys if you go first. I mean, Kian's hand was okay. But the Twin Twister was there for Danique, and I think that Twin Twister changed the game completely. So I think we will see Kian going first for sure in this game too. While on the other hand, Danique, he has some solutions on his own.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the fact that Dragon Link is still here.
Yeah, again, for now we have seen Tri Brigade, and we already have two different decks in the top 8 guaranteed, which are Prankids and Tri Brigade Zoo. And no matter what, here we are gonna have a third guaranteed different decks in the top 8, which is always refreshing to see, and I think is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh to play ever, when you can basically just build whatever deck you're comfortable with, and the power level is at such that you should be able to top and do well with it. So let's see if this duel will be again on a game 3 like in round 1, or if it will be a quicker one like the one from Pierluigi last round. So Kian draws his opening hand and wants to start this time with an Ultra Guy Monster. Does he have it? It's much better, it's extravagant, already a much better start from last game.
Yeah, card we have seen a lot during our last invitationals, and now players are relying with the Pot of Prosperity as well, but with this kind of rock decks, I think this is like one of the staple of your deck.
Yeah, but again, I really like that we are in a point in Yu-Gi-Oh where we have a pot format with 3 different pots in the format, which are Desires, Prosperity, and Extravagance, and each deck usually just runs 3 copies, but depending on the deck, you will see different versions. So it's definitely a fun thing to see. Luckily, Kian does not banish all of his Link once, and is able to start with the Melusic. Which gets negated by a Gamma, okay. Not the most obvious card you would side in against Altergeist, I would say.
No, maybe he does side it out other cards, and yeah, because like maybe he sided out like 3 or 4 cards of side in Twin Twister and Red Reboot and the Duster, but I mean...
Yeah, it's a bold choice. I would say definitely bold choice from Danique. Maybe it will pay off, because now he should cut his opponent out of Faker, but Kian keeps 2 cards in hand, so maybe he does have a hard-drawn copy of Faker in his hand.
Yeah.
So play is now back to Danique, really looking forward to his Feather Duster and Reboot. Let's see. Picks up his hand, has quite a lot of tools. He does not play Lightning Storm, luckily for Kian. But he starts with one of the side deck cards. So the Pancratops hits the field. Definitely annoying. I don't think you use a strike. If you have it here, you can hold it. But Kian is giving it some thinking. And I think he has... Yeah, I mean, now that he's... considering so much about flipping it, it would be weird if he didn't.
Yeah.
But this is also very annoying because he shuts down the protocol. Wow! Solemn Judgment on a Pancratops. This is bold from Kian.
Maybe...
Definitely an high risk, but hopefully high reward from him. Maybe he has just a second copy of Solemn.
Yeah.
And now we see the first play from Danique, just trying and using one of his Dragon Maids, so...
Yeah, it's not super easy for Kian, because he needs to be careful with his life points. Does he have, like...
And he flips the spoofing, which is now more understandable why he did this Solemn Judgment. The Pancratops can just chain to the spoofing for a +1, so although... he wasn't happy about it, he was forced to actually use the spoofing. But the chamber will now be able to send the tide into the graveyard. So, do you think he will just shotgun the Faker on the chamber, or will he wait?
I think he could either wait, yeah, I think I would wait, yeah. Yeah, it's just waiting maybe, yeah, I think it's better.
Let's
No,
see.
okay.
So he goes for the Faker. He will summon the Silk most likely from the deck.
Yeah, I mean the Solemn Judgment was huge because, as you said, he had the spoofing, so he really needed to add the multi-figure and guarantee it. So
let's see. I think it has some merits to actually spinning back the chamber though, because the Tiding is not alive and they cannot go for the Striker, so that's what he does. I think it makes sense. It isn't the greatest, but he's kind of forced to, and now he's hoping with everything he has that his opponent just bricked.
okay.
But the Ravine comes down. Tough, getting tougher and tougher for Kian. The last back row is all that separates his opponent from just completely going out. And wow, once again, just like last game, we see the Dragonity Regatos coming down. He can search the Remos from his deck if he feels like it.
And it is very good now, because, yeah, he sends the Tiding. Does he have Ash? Okay.
Okay, Ash. So another line of defense from Kian. And this might be enough, but he banishes the Tiding. Let's see. Close one. Definitely gonna be a close one, but no response from now, so he gets the chamber back. Only one card left. He's thinking about it. He goes for the Striker to just get the Sector from the deck. Why not? It's a 3+1. But he doesn't... Oh, no, okay. For a moment, it seems like he didn't activate it. But luckily for him, he is, so...
Yeah, I think the only card Kian could have now, maybe it's like Impermanence or a Strike or I don't know, Judgment. That was
tough.
Yeah, it's very tough.
I mean, maybe he's just slow playing a Torrential. He's playing 3 copies of it, so maybe that could also be the case. And that could be actually really good, because the spoofing would be there, so next turn you just get something back. But yeah, no surprises, the launch is added, and now we see a Link summon for the Romulus maybe?
Yeah, I think he's thinking about it, because if Kian has the Solemn Strike, that will hurt a lot.
Yeah, maybe he wants to enter the battle phase first, to just get rid of everything. I don't mind it, but I don't know. It depends whether you can think you can push the 4000.
Yeah, I mean, you could risk it, but maybe just to be safer, I don't know, I would enter battle phase.
Yeah, risk it for the biscuit. Let's see. Yeah, he takes it safer, so he enters the battle phase, just attack over both. Yeah, I like it. Why take unnecessary risks? It's not like Altergeist is gonna kill you next turn if you don't, so makes sense. Now we go to main phase 2, and probably gonna see a Romulus adding another Ravine. Just get the advantage going, I guess. Yeah. So Romulus comes down, he uses the effect. The last card in hand is a Faker, and the last set is an Impermanence. So you were right. Last card is an Impermanence, and now play is not actually looking that bad for Kian, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very tough game because he has the multi-faker and the spoofing as well, so he has quite a few options, because if he draws like whatever card he can shuffle back, I mean, it's not looking that bad. I think Kian...
No, I like it, I like it. So now he gets play back, he will use the spoofing to get back for sure the Marionette, 100%, especially because he has the graveyard already full, so he can get the protocol back and then use his effect to destroy and get something back from grave, so it's looking good for Kian now. Yeah, so now he uses his effect. So all of this is happening because of this card right here we can see on screen, which is Perfect Spoofing. And I think the Solemn Judgment on the Pancratops is really paying off. It was risky, but I think Kian played it really well. because the Pancratops would have just got rid of the spoofing and the game was probably over by then.
Yeah.
So
Well played by Kian.
yeah, you bite the bullet, but it gets you here. And now he actually get the manifestation, I think.
Yeah.
But he needs to set it instead of adding it to end.
Now the Melosi comes back, and I think he will enter a battle phase soon. Yeah, okay, they just
Yeah,
realized.
they just checked and corrected the small mistake. And now the Marionette attacks, and so you can get back the Melosic and get rid. I don't know. What do you think, the Raven or the Romulus?
I think the Raven.
The Raven, yeah. The Raven is definitely scarier, and he can get the Linkuribu back from grave, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, he does. So Linkuribu is back, and Melosic will trigger, giving him probably another Faker. Yeah.
Yep.
No surprise, great stuff, and now the only question mark left is the top deck from Kian. Is it gonna be another trap? Hopefully so for him. Let's see if he will set it. Yes. So, another trap, and this is scary now from Danique. When you break a board against Altergeist, but you don't necessarily kill them, it's tough. Unless you put up a negation of your own, this is usually what they can do, and maybe this is enough now. It turned into a grind game, and this top deck is absolutely crucial from Danique.
Yeah. It's looking good for Kian now. The spoofing saved him, and I think that Solemn Judgment on the Pancratops was worth, and it's paying off.
Yeah, so not even sure if a top deck is enough. Like Cow Space, maybe it's one of the best rows, but is that gonna be enough? I'm not sure.
Yeah, not sure, because he has the Manifestation, he has the Faker.
Do you like the Manifestation more than the Protocol set from the Marionette? I think there were merits to both, but
Yeah, I think they were both okay. I don't know, it depends on what Kian wants to do, because maybe the Protocol would have been safer, but the Manifestation is okay as well. Yeah. Yeah, now maybe just with a maybe red booth, I don't know.
it's tough because even with the card like that, he needed some engine and some fool to go. Let's see, but if I have to ban my money, it's definitely on his opponent. But this is a decent way to start. We'll probably see the Faker now. Ooh, Torrential Tribute actually. This is tough. Is it a red Rebuke top deck from Danique? No. So, Torrential. Wow. In 2021, and now we see the Faker getting back the Silk. I would have liked the Protocol way more, I think. This would have been much safer if the face down from Kian was the Protocol. But it's probably still enough to win him the game, so...
Yeah, right now it's very looking good for Kian. Danique on his own doesn't seem like he can come back easily into this game. The spoofing did the difference, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is what we like to see, a back and forth one. And yeah, just a sack card from Danique. You can push it back in the end phase. Which could be the tiding, but this is just so much advantage. And you know, the more time you give to your opponent with Altergeist, the nastier things they can do, even negating your spell and trap. So okay, So now you can see a little trick you can do with the Altergeist deck, demonstrated brilliantly by Kian, which is the Silk Chain to the Manifestation, just because it is a normal trap that then becomes a continuous one. It's a nice way to just get a +1 from your opponent. And yeah, I think yes, seen enough. So it's 1-1. Great show of Altergeist management from Kian, and we're going to game 3. So what a turnaround! And what do you think of Danique's chances now?
Yeah, now I think that maybe we'll side in maybe Triple Tactics Talent is going first, but I would anyway keep in Red Reboot, Twin Twister, and RP's Feeder Duster, considering that against this deck you cannot afford to lose your resources, and considering that Altergeist plays a lot of traps and hate, you really need these cards to be there.
Yeah, maybe the Pancratops is the only one that's not that great going first with a combo deck. But for the rest, I gotta say, Kian is now looking much better, because all the cards we were mentioning that are really bad going first are now great. The Dimension Shifter completely stops his opponent. And he's also siding Ghost Bells and Raigeki, which is also interesting. Yeah.
Also evenly matched if he really wants to. But yeah. Solutions.
A lot of cards now from Kian, which might have completely switched the pace of this match and the momentum, which was definitely on Danique's side, but it's now pending towards Kian. So it's definitely a tough one, and I'm sure the opponents coming up in round 4 are looking for this match and just studying their opponent moves, because whoever advances here will move on tomorrow to the second top 8 match for the day, and the next match coming up is the one that will actually find the winner and the opponent of one of these 2 guys tomorrow. So lot of things on the line, of course, and both of these players want to make their friends watching at home proud. And I gotta say, just in general, it's of course summertime, we are in July, but it's what a time to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! We have had so many different events. Just last weekend we had the first YCS after so much time. We had an incredible attendance with close to 1,800 players, although we were hosting it in different countries, so for North America, and the acceptance and was amazing from all of you guys watching at home. So as always, make sure to check out any of our announcements on the website, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is alive as ever, and events are going on a weekly basis depending where you are. There are remote duel qualifiers going around, and we are gonna try and show you guys the best of it with these duelists today and tomorrow, as well as the final top 16 of the YCS, which for anyone who has missed, we will also show you guys on the 31st of July. So much Yu-Gi-Oh! For you guys to enjoy, but now the focus must be on this match and on the winner between Danique and Kian.
And now we will see Kian going second for sure with Altergeist, and but I think he has so many resources in his side deck that maybe will not be a problem for him, because I think he was ready to go second in this kind of matchups. While on the other hand, I think Danique is really hoping to establish a field which can actually deal with all the traps that Kian is playing with his Altergeist deck. They're almost there for us, guys, so soon ends will be picked up.
Yeah, so you can see both of them being really focused. Let's see. One of these guys is drawing their last 5 cards for the weekend. Is it going to be Danique? Is it going to be Kian? Luckily, there are 20 minutes remaining, meaning the timeout is still quite far away. But let's see Danique and his combo deck. Again, a great start. So,
yeah, it starts with the Cipher. This means that he has access to the Striker Dragon pretty easily.
And Kian does not have that many entrops, so let's see. It doesn't seem like he stopped it. So he will get the Collapse Serpent.
Good start for Danique. Because the Collapse Serpent.
Yeah, Striker Dragon. Usual prey, I guess, Forbidden List stuff. So the thing here is, I'm also kind of hoping in the back of my head that there is no response from Kian, just because we didn't really get to see a full combo from Danique. So I want to see what his aim is, what his thoughts behind this decklist are. So, and this is definitely a good start to show us.
Yeah, always needs to be careful because we know how Nibiru could come here in a moment if Kian has it, but it's looking good for Danique. Now comes the Romulus. Okay, he has the Ash Blossom. Did he hard draw the...
Are you surprised that you use it first, or...?
I mean, he could have used on the Seaford maybe, right?
Yeah. You have stopped a lot of
Yeah,
advantage.
could have stopped a lot of cars, yeah.
I think I would have liked it much more, but now the sector launch comes down and it seems like he activated his effect, so he must have a Tracer or a monster in hand. That's the case. But as you can see here on the screen, he will now link it away, but I would say by far the Dragonity Romulus we see now on screen is what allows just Danique to play with this deck.
Yeah.
He playing a lot of copies of Dragon Ravine with many Dragonity monsters, and it's the biggest tool in the deck at the moment.
Yeah, I think it would have prevented Danique from activating the Book Sector launch, the Striker Dragon, so... Yeah, he has the Erratic Seal. Oh, okay, it's not done yet.
Okay. Solid start. We see the Erratic Spheres. Again, not the greatest against Altergeist, but definitely quite useful against all other matchups. But worst case scenario, you can get a Brotor, get a Levian here for next turn, so still quite useful. And with the Tracer down, he now has access to the Bottle of Savage if he thinks that's the case.
Yeah, because now with the Tracer he can bring back the Rocket Synchron if he wants to. And yeah, I think this is what most likely we will see.
Yeah. So this could just be the Savage, and it's a decent start. Not the greatest against Altergeist per se, but it's okay.
Okay, gets the Recharger instead, which is fine.
Yeah, and I would be surprised if there was something else being summoned here. There is the Chaos Ruler, so he's thinking about his options, but let's finally see his decision. And yeah, as predicted, he goes for the Savage. Yeah. So he gets back the Romulus and now has some negations for any possible interruptions by Kian. Solid start, and even a face down card, which could be the Tiding or a Twin Twister maybe, to just hit his opponent in the end phase. So play is now back to Kian. Can he break this board? He already used an Ash Blossom, so he will only be working with 5 cards. But wow, what a way to start it with the Extravagance. I would say you negate this 100%.
No matter what, you don't want to give your opponent like an extra draw.
I would be very surprised if we didn't see the negation from the Savage here. And there is really no way you wouldn't do it. Especially with the Erratic Sphere, we can protect you from like a Melusik attacking directly, so... Let's see. Yeah. He does negate it with the Savage. Makes sense. Ooh, and the Raigeki comes down. Raigeki showing up strong, and one of the few side deck cards from Kian. What a way to change the pace of this game. Again, Altergeist doesn't want to give up his advantage. Are you surprised that he didn't use the... No, I guess he...
No.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did, yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now the Brutor comes with the Erratic Skills effect.
Now he discards the last card in his hand. Is it... Oh, the driver. Okay, a bad one for sure. And now he must think about maybe getting the Levianeer. There are a few targets you can search for, but... Yeah, the Levianeer is the most obvious one. And now can Kian actually push some damage with the Melusik? It's probably the best card you could have here. Setting up some traps, but I really like Kian position now.
Let's see what he has.
He has the Silk, so not as great, but at least he can attack over the Brotor.
Yeah, better than nothing. If he has like a spoofing
Yeah.
to shuffle it back, maybe that would be good, but...
Solomon as well would be great. So... I think he's gonna... Yeah. And 2 cards, pass, and let's see. Play is back to Danique. So he top stacks 1. He might have a Twin Twister set still that he was holding. But yeah, the Raigeki we can see on the screen giving a chance back to Kian. I don't think without it there would have been a game, because the Savage can just negate once more. So Raigeki keeping Kian hopes alive. But now it's all on Danique. He starts by banishing some cards for the Levianeer. Are we going to see a Solemn? I think that's definitely crucial here.
Yeah, this Levianeer is very important, because otherwise Danique would be left with only 1 card in his hand. Let's see if Kian has any kind of response. Does he have it?
He does. So luckily for him, Kian still holding back and trying his best with a Solemn Strike. And now Danique is kind of in trouble. The top deck is quite important, and this just turned into the old-fashioned top deck war, essentially.
Yeah, because now I don't expect Danique from having a Twin Twister. He has the spoofing as
wow,
well.
the spoofing is huge here. This could actually turn the game upside down really quickly.
This is huge, because he can get the Faker, and then for the turn after he can shuffle back once again. This is very...
Ooh, but the Gamma, what a game! So the Gamma stops him, and now it's actually a top deck war as we predicted. I believe this was done during the end phase. I hope at least for Kian. And yeah, as predicted, the end phase goes on, and this is now officially a top deck war. Who is gonna win it? I would say Kian might have a slight advantage, because any Altergeist card is just great with the spoofing. Does he get one? He's thinking, which could be a good sign.
Did he pass?
He passed. Wow. This means that that's probably an Ash Blossom, but again, pass, draw and pass, draw and pass. This is not what you expect in 2021. Wow, and 2 passes by Kian are really surprising to me. 2 cards.
2 passes from Kian is not what you see.
Yeah, and now we see the Dragonity come down, the Remus.
Yeah.
Usually you can discard it to get the Riven, but it's good enough in such a situation to just try and push some damage. We can see Danique is probably doing some air math. But...
Maybe Kian drew, I don't know, Shifter? Like...
I am really not sure, because unless, yeah, they're both Anthrops, like Shifter and Ash Blossom, or Bell. It's quite tough. Even, yeah, now a first stat, but quite unfortunate. He really wants to pick up an Altergeist card. Any Altergeist is great because you get Marionetta and then you get the Faker back, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's the case. So let's see. Draw again from Danique. Thinking quite a bit. Seems like it's gonna be something playable at least.
Maybe a quick launch. Okay.
Wow, okay. Quick launch is a good one. Kian has an Ash. It doesn't, which is really bad sign that those might actually be the shifters. Both shifters, maybe. Wow.
Yeah, because I cannot think of any other cards like...
Yeah, there are very few things. Even the evenly match, you would probably just set it, I think. I don't know. This is looking tough for Kian. After such an incredible start from both of these guys, this was back and forth game and match. Again, now it's looking like the momentum is on Danique's side, but never say never in this match. We have learned this multiple times, and now he's even thinking about the set. So.
Yeah, I think he can deal some damage, but at the same time, yeah, the only thing he has to concern, I mean, is the back row, because I will consider Kian having a double copy of shifters, maybe. Yeah. He has
and the tiding, as expected, is used. He's probably gonna chain the tracer on the tiding to get even more of an advantage. And yeah, this just it's looking like Danique is gonna grind his way through to the top 8, but still close to call. I guess Torrential could be a really good one.
Yeah,
but...
maybe Torrential that will be a very good one in this spot, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like Kian has any sort of response to this.
He does. It's the bell. So yeah,
okay.
As expected, this must have been one of the end shops. At least it's not 2 copies of the shifter, but it's not really good right now. Like the bell is not even activated because I don't think there was a Dragon Maid, right? Yeah.
No.
So, information revealed, unfortunately, by Kian here. And the set is finally revealed to be... Let's see.
Still unsure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite unsure. I think, yeah, he lets it resolve. So the tiding resolves, and... unfortunately, Kian revealed the bell, and now Danique is not afraid anymore. He knows that if an Altergeist card was there, Kian already would have activated the spoofing last turn, and this means that he is now free to go for his combos. So Romulus comes down, he gets the Raven.
The only thing he needs to be... on top of his mind is like the bell, because
Yeah, the bell he knows is there, and maybe the Nibiru could be the last card. But I mean, you surely don't play too much around that. But I don't think you even take that many necessary risks, because you know your opponent has a face down, which they didn't use. They have a bell, so I really think you don't need to play into Nibiru. Yeah, and now, as we can see, the beauty of this Dragonite engine is that not only does it get you the Raven, but it's also a number of cards which can all be special summoned, both from the hand or grave. So, Well played here by Danique, who is again trying his best to close this game. And he discards the Lancia, which is a quite interesting side deck choice. Probably therefore evenly matched. And yeah, I mean, mostly evenly matched though.
I think he was afraid of losing like his entire board. Okay.
Yeah, he can get the...
Yeah, I mean,
the other Dragunity.
The other Dragunity, but
yeah.
I think the only thing he needs to consider is just making 5700. Because like he knows that he has a bell. The other card, maybe I would not consider him to be a Nibiru. So I will not be feeling super safe, but
yeah, I'm surprised actually that he didn't use it earlier on the Remus, but now, yeah, he can just special summon the last of his Dragonity Legatus, and he does. So Legatus comes down, and he goes for another summon, maybe a Synchro summon this time. Yeah. So the Guiderg comes down, and it is one of those cards we mentioned that is quite unique to his deck.
Yeah, I think he's explaining it to Kian, a card we haven't seen so often, but very good in this version of Dragon Link.
Yeah, you get a level 4 from hand and then discard it, which is the Chamber, which is great because you have the Tiding already engraved, which you can banish and get back. So usually it's really good because you get an extender like the Collapse Serpent, but since you have to discard, of course, this is the most obvious choice. And now he knows that the bell is there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I actually like this play that much, I have to admit. Because now he will push the damage, try to win, but the bell can negate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I didn't even activate the Tiding.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't activate it because he knows the bell can just negate it. Instead, he goes for a Hieratic Sphere. And yeah, he's just gonna chill. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this play, I have to admit. I mean, the Hieratic Sphere is okay because it deals with the spoofing in case of a top deck, but I think he's now risking it.
Yeah, he's risking it a lot.
I thought that maybe the line of plays he had could have led to a bigger advantage, but if you're Kian, you need to be worried about life points.
Yeah.
4 minutes remains, and although this game is not necessarily lost, okay, Ash comes down. As you can see, Kian is getting advantage now.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't necessarily agree with the line of play that Danique had. I think even the Sphere was too risky here. You had the 2 big beaters on board, and you can just keep them. Now the bell negates the Tiding, and the top deck war is looking much better for Kian now. The only issue is the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think he drew Chaos Space, which, okay, he can discard with the Ravine.
Yeah, which is a great draw, actually.
Yeah.
Because now you get another Remus. Or...
Okay,
no, he sends the Seafert, but he can use the Chaos Space.
I think Chaos Space is very good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now he uses the Seafert, the Chaos Space as mentioned, to get to the Striker, the one and only copy, because as we mentioned already, got limited. He draws a card which seemed like it might have been the Nocto, maybe.
Yeah, it is a monster for sure.
And now you can really see how Kian is holding up all these last cards, trying to stay alive in this match. But Danique, once again, just showing why Dragon Link is still such a good deck. He goes on and banishes for Levianeer. Do you think he's gonna use one of his effects? Or just try and attack? You know, bravely.
I think considering the situation.
Yeah,
okay.
he does. Well played. It was impermanence and it was double shifter. Ooh, the Mystic Mines were there. Though could have been a much better top deck. Unfortunate match from Kian. But congratulations to Danique. What a show of knowledge. What a interesting deck. And he is the winner. So congratulations, Danique. Let's go back to us for the post-match discussion.